Okay, so the point of this video is to help you get set up with Typescript, all right? So in class we talked about this language called Typescript, which is basically like a wrapper around JavaScript to kind of give it, guardrails and rules of the road to live by. But it requires a little bit of setup. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just kind of take you through it in case you missed it in class. First, I want to point out the typescriptlang.org docs website, which will be in the Slack bookmarks area. So this is basically this is TypeScript, right? This is like all the docs that have to do with how TypeScript works, all right? We're gonna, just kind of keep this as your reference. So I'm going to search for setup. Let's see if I can find it. And here we are. So for class, what we're going to do is we're going to install TypeScript globally. What I mean by that is normally you would install TypeScript for a specific project. Like every time you would do a package, you would install TypeScript for just that package. But for the purposes of our class, that adds a lot of extra steps, and there's a lot of chance for you guys to mess up because you don't know what you're doing. So I tend to do things a simple way. So if you globally install TypeScript, then that means it's available across your entire computer no matter what folder you're in. At your job, you wouldn't do that because each package should have its own version of TypeScript, but for what we're doing, it's fine. So it's going to be npm install -g for global. The G stands for global, so -g TypeScript. And just wait a couple minutes and it will install TypeScript. After that is done, your computer will therefore have TypeScript. But then you're thinking to yourself, well, how am I supposed to actually set up a project to be ready for TypeScript? All right, so I just went to my this folder is where I'm going to do set up my project. So first of all, I'm going to do npm init, okay, 2 yes. This will create that package, right? We talked about node packages. All right, node packages are basically a group of code that goes together that does something, that you can package it together. So we need to initialize it. So npm init 2 yes. Okay, we'll do some stuff, and then it will create a package.json. Okay, cool. If we look at package.json, this gives us some information as to how to start it, who made it, right? These are just information about the package itself. Now, there's a couple things we need to add. So there's a scripts section. All right, so when we did jest, we did this test, right? So this is where we put our commands, like npm test. We want to be able to run our TypeScript, so I'm going to go add a start and start-dev. All right, and what this does is start will basically run our TypeScript. So typically the file is index.ts. This is going to be whatever file you want to start. And I'll explain what node mod is in a second, but this is what you would need inside your scripts in order for it to run properly. All right, and so we won't actually really start off with node mod. I want to make this nice and simple, but we can, I guess. All right, so the other command we're going to put in is npm -d typescript tsnode nodemon. We really actually don't really need this. We could just use nodemon and tsnode. So TypeScript we don't need because we installed that globally. So let's just do npm -d tsnode nodemon. All right, what this does, nodemon is a really cool package that lets you rerun your app without having to do anything. And tsnode is it's like Node but for TypeScript. That'll make sense in a second. All right, so it added some stuff. We added nodemon and tsnode. We got a package log JSON. We've got node modules. So we're pretty much set up. The last thing we need to do is to actually make a file which is called the TypeScript compiler. In order to do that, you do tsc init. Okay, wait a second. Let's see. Okay, maybe not. All right, my bad. It is npx tsc 2 init. npx tsc 2 init. All right, and if you run that, it will create this tsconfig.json file, which I will tell you what this does in a moment. All right, but with all this stuff, now we can actually program in TypeScript. And after this point, it's really easy. So you can make your first TypeScript file by making a new file, and let's just do index.ts. Okay, TypeScript files end in a .ts, and you know you did it correctly because there's this blue TS on the side here. Okay, let me make sure this is in the right folder. All right, neat. All right, cool. So TypeScript is compiled. We haven't dealt with the language that's actually compiled because we've been dealing with JavaScript, which just kind of runs. If you are working with like C# or Java, you have a language that needs to be compiled first before it can run. So in TypeScript, we would write some code and then it will compile. And this tsconfig.json is the thing that has all the configurations for compiling. You won't have to really like do much in here. It has a lot of like, you'll see all these like things commented out. Right? These are different properties of the compiler that you can customize. So most of them are commented out because they're not really useful for most situations. But you can, and you can see what they do when you uncomment them. All right, but this is basically what you need for your TypeScript. And so to actually run it, remember, if you go to start, you can do npm start. Okay, let me make sure everything's saved. Cool. Okay, it doesn't do anything yet, obviously, but right now we'll start it. You also can do npm start :dev, I believe. Okay, I wanted to start the dev package. That will start nodemon. I don't know if we could. Okay, npm run start :dev. There we go. All right. That's fine. It needs to find the index.js. We'll actually do that in a second. But npm start will work just fine. Nodemon allows you to run it, and then every time you make a change, it will rerun it. So like in case it crashes, to exit out of it, you do Control-C. So it's looking for source index. Oh, that's incorrect here. Okay, nodemon index.ts. So I'm going to save the package.json file and then do that npm run start :dev. Okay, it should find the file now. Okay, cool. If it's green, it means it's running. So like it will run your file, and then anytime it makes a change, it will rerun it. So like for example, if I like go like console.log hi and save it, okay, it's like restarts, and then see how it says hi here, and then like if I do like I made another change, and I say and it gets saved, it will then restart it, and then it will show the new change. So that way, like as you're developing, you can kind of see the output as you go along. You don't have to restart the program. It's kind of nodemon is very convenient in that way. All right, so we haven't actually gotten to what TypeScript is, but this is the basic setup for it.